Welcome to Subramani. If you see my videos, about 1% or 2% of the videos, maximum of 2% of the videos would be on debt and repayment of debt. I largely believe that most of the people whom I deal with, not the people who watch my videos, are way beyond debt. They don't borrow for anything, and they only convert from one asset class to other. So they would sell their mutual funds or equity shares and buy a car or a house or things like that. So they are not really in the debt repayment thing. But I realize that maybe their children or their employees who watch the channel may not be in that lucky a situation, and they would be much younger. So I realized that when they have debt, what are the steps that are to be taken? First of all, you have to stop being in denial that you are in debt. If you are in debt, you are in debt. You can't escape thinking that I will believe I'm not in debt, right? That kind of a thing doesn't happen. You have to first accept that you are in debt. Second, like Alcoholics Anonymous, you have to go, when you start your Alcoholic Anonymous journey, the first step is to own up, saying, yes, I am an alcoholic and I need help. Because if you don't accept that you need help, you will never seek help. So step one is to accept that you are in debt, and second, do a quick analysis of what got you into debt. So a lot of people who got into debt over the last 2-3 years have been victims of COVID and not having adequate medical insurance. So if you had a medical insurance of say 5 lakhs and you actually ran up a bill of 35 lakhs, there is no way what would have you done, and you did not have enough assets to sell. Obviously you would have got into debt. So this could be a genuine problem where people had no choice what to do, and therefore they got into debt. Other than that, there could be just lifestyle choices that you made. You overspent, or you overspent just once. You went out. I mean, this happened to a friend's son. He went out with friends, and unfortunately or fortunately, the bill came to 6,000-7,000 rupees, which he paid, and the others just didn't contribute enough. So he ended up paying a bigger portion of the bill than was intentional, and so he ran into debt. So there was some small things like this, 1 or 2 mistakes. You bought a watch for 15,000 rupees or something like that, and that got into debt. So some of these things can happen. So find out, is it a one time mistake, or is it a lifestyle choice mistake? Right, you're spending more than what you're earning. So if you're earning 20,000 and you're spending 22,000, you will obviously get into debt. Then find out, then sit down and analyze as to what you will do to get out of debt, right? So first is to stop adding to the debt. Don't use your credit card. I have 2 credit cards. The one credit card which has already run up into debt, just lock it up. Don't use it at all. Just repay as fast as you can. Use the other credit card, and if you have only one credit card and you're already running behind the payment schedule, then talk to your parents, talk to somebody, find out what they can do. Like for example, if the debt amount is very small and your parents can help you, then maybe you should take a small loan from your parents and start repaying them also. It is not just that you take 6,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees from them, repay the card and say, oh, I'll go back to my bad ways, right? Don't do that. They should not have that risk of saying, okay, he knows that people will bail him out, so he runs into debt again and again. So it should not be like that. It has to be a one-time thing that you do, and you should start repaying your parents also. So if you have a 20,000 rupee debt, which you would have repaid as 2,000 rupees per month or 3,000 rupees per month, then you take 20,000 from your parent, repay the loan, and start repaying the parent of say 2,500 per month or. So instead of repaying the bank 2,300, 2,000 or 3,000 per month, start repaying your parents that same amount, knowing fully well that once if you were to default, at least there is no interest payment on that. So let's say in 1 year you told your parents that you will be able to repay that 20,000 rupees. Instead of 12 months, you took say 13-14 months. It's still okay, because but the other way for your parent to look at it is to say, look, you can't make a promise and go back on that, but at least there's no penal interest, etc. When you withdraw money, you will not pay interest from day one, right? So some of those advantages you have. So that is one thing which you can do. And if it is a lifestyle change that has to be made, so make sure that you make that lifestyle change. Maybe you are having too many cups of coffee a day. Maybe you're eating out too often. Maybe you can start cooking at home. Whatever. I am not coming to you with solutions. I'm saying, think about why you got into debt. Have you got into debt because you bought too many clothes which you do not need? Did you go on vacations that you can't afford? Did you buy a vehicle that you can't afford and you're using your credit card for the fuel? Sit and analyze. That is very important, because once you analyze and you arrive at the reason why you got into debt, it is easier to solve the problem. So once you know that the amount of debt is X, either you repay directly without your parental support, or if there is parental support, even better, or grandparental support, whatever, somebody who is willing to give you that money. Or let's say you are doing some SIP which is accumulated, just break it and repay the loan, because you are never going to get this kind of 42% kind of a return which you're paying, which is the interest that you're paying on your credit card. I find people making this mistake also, saying my SIP will continue, this will happen, but I have debt. Don't do that, right? Right now, I think floating rate will give you better return than even equity, right? Or at least for the next 1 or 2 years. But it doesn't mean that you should stop your SIP just to repay a 5,000 rupee debt. If it's a 5,000 rupee debt, you can stop your SIP for 1 month, repay the debt and come back to doing your SIP. But if the amount is very big, you will have to stop your SIP, sell off your assets, repay the loan, because 42% return is not what you're going to get ever in any equity fund. Definitely not on a sustainable basis beyond a couple of months, right? So that kind of a return, if you can't get, you might as well use it for repaying the loan. So step 1, if you have assets, use them and repay the loan. If you have bank deposits, break that, repay the loan. You don't need to have an emergency fund when you have debt at 42%. So break all your fixed deposit, whatever it is. So make a list of your loans, see which is the most expensive loan, repay that first. Normally it is the credit card loan which would be the most expensive. Second, if you have taken some personal loans for, say, going on a vacation or buying anything, right? Even for making a down payment for a car, if you have used a personal loan, that will be more expensive than the car loan. So repay that loan and then start repaying the car loan, because the car loan is also hurting you. But car loan, normally the interest should have already been paid upfront. So if it's a 2-year loan, don't bother too much about it. And then if you have a mortgage for a home mortgage, that is the last priority for you to repay, right? And below, never repay. If it is about 25 lakhs loan left, whatever stage of your life you are, let it remain, because at least a portion of the cost of the interest is being set off against your income. So broadly, this is how you should be handling your debt. I'm sure there are other videos, and if there are queries, you please ask me. So I'll create more videos on debt, but largely I have not got too many queries asking for debt videos. Thank you.